Real happy with, you know, a lot of kids playing for their first time and getting an opportunity, and I thought they did a good job. Thought he made a lot of really good plays. They blitzed him a little bit early, and he took a sack on the first drive, but then came back and made some real quick decisions, and that's the one thing you love about him. I think he's got a really good command of our offense and knows where to go to the ball when they present some different looks, and there was a lot of unknowns coming into this game.
Hey Duck fans, there's so much to cover this week. Let's not waste any time. Let's jump right into it. There was kind of an important thing happening at Autzen Stadium Saturday night, but first, let's recap everything else that's going on in Duck sports this week. The women's basketball team is currently on a tour in Europe playing exhibitions. They completed their endeavor in Spain, finishing 4-0 on the trip, so way to go women's basketball. Women's volleyball, meanwhile, has been out in Ohio all week. Last week they wrapped up the Sports Impact Classic, a perfect 3-0, including a win over host school number 24 ranked Ohio State. This weekend they were in the Baymont Invitational in Athens, Ohio, where they again win a perfect 3-0, including a big win over number 10 Kentucky. They didn't lose a single set, and thus far they've only lost 2 sets all year. They're 18-2 in sets. The Ducks are now returning home. The next match will be on Wednesday against UC Santa Barbara at Matt Knight Arena. The Ducks are ranked 17th in the country, but after the dominating way that they've come out of the chute, winning their first 6 matches and defeating 2 ranked teams, look for Oregon to climb up the charts real soon. Cross-country season is also underway. The Pier Park Invitational took place on Saturday morning in Portland. The 22nd ranked men's team dominated the 3-way dual meet, while the top-ranked women's team easily took down their foes in what was a 4-way team meet. The other sport currently underway is women's soccer, and aside from an 0-2 loss to Portland University a week ago, the Ducks are playing great. Most recently, they had a 1-0 win over UC Irvine on Friday. In fact, if you add up all the Oregon Duck teams competing right now, volleyball, cross country, soccer, football, Oregon is 12-1 on the season thus far. That 12th victory in a competition, of course, came Saturday night, the start of football season. Arkansas State came in as a 10-win team last year, Sun Belt Conference champions, and led by Sun Belt Conference Player of the Year quarterback Ryan Applin. The game went about as expected with a big Oregon victory, but there were definitely some surprises. First of all, the affirmation that new quarterback Marcus Mariota is indeed special. Or, the announcers kept emphasizing it so much, from now on I'm just going to call him Marcus Mariota. Shocks you with his great play, his outstanding performance. It is tough, though, to think of a freshman quarterback that has ever looked that poised in their first ever game experience, that in command, that confident in being able to move the team at will. With the first stringers in, the Ducks were simply unstoppable. By 8 minutes left in the second quarter, it was so out of hand, Chip was already pulling the starters, with the score being 50-10 by halftime. D'Anthony Thomas, Mariota, Kenyon Barner, the receivers, just everybody on the first string looked great. But it wasn't all great. There were 2 injuries that could prove quite significant. Tyler Johnstone, the starting left tackle, suffered a leg injury in the first quarter that left him in a walking boot, leaving the tackle duties mainly to Kyle Long for the rest of the game. Also, Jared Ebert appeared to do severe damage to his knee in pursuit of Applin on one play. Oregon hasn't released official injury news, so this is purely speculation, but particularly with Jared Ebert, it didn't look good. So we'll just have to wait and see what comes out.
I just have to continue to work the offense. I felt that everyone did a very good job today, so just going to come back Monday and get ready to go back to work.
Also not looking good was Oregon's second and third string defenses. The backups really struggled to slow down Arkansas State's offense, with their first stringers staying in the game. The Ducks only scored 1 touchdown in the second half with Brian Bennett at the helm, while the Red Wolves saved face somewhat, making the box score look at least a little respectable, scoring 24 points in the second half to make it a 57-34 final score. It was a good win, a good start, but the second string defensive performance and injuries to Johnstone and Ebert are troubling. It's always said teams make the biggest strides between week 1 and week 2, which means hopefully the backups take their opening day playing experience to heart and improve. One thing's for sure though, Oregon's first stringers looked as good as anybody in the country. Barring any more significant injuries, it's going to be a fun year. So next week is Fresno State at Autzen Stadium, 3:30 p.m. kickoff. The game is on Pac-12 Network. And unfortunately, the negotiations with DirecTV and Dish Network and the Pac-12 Network all collapsed this past week. So fans, sorry to say, it's time to switch to a cable provider. I did back in August. I'm so glad I did, because it means I'm not having to deal with not being able to see our Ducks play, or find a friend with a Time Warner account or Comcast or any of the cable providers that are carrying Pac-12 Network. Better yet, head out to Autzen Stadium and enjoy the game in person. The Arkansas State game was announced as a sellout, maintaining the streak now to 83 games. But there may have been some, a little bit of fuzzy math involved in announcing that. Apparently there was a lot of last-minute walk-ups who bought tickets. As of Monday, there are still about 1,500 tickets still available for the Fresno State game. So if you're available, if you're in town, absolutely go out and support our Ducks. And before we move on to the next topic, it should be mentioned that the Duck is getting quite a bit of publicity right now. It started this week with a parody video of the viral YouTube sensation Oppan Gangnam Style, which was trending worldwide, and now the Ducks version of it is now trending worldwide. Simultaneously, the start of football season also brings the Capital One Mascot Challenge, and once again, Ducky is in the mix. Be sure to vote each day for Ducky at www.capitalonebowl.com. Ducky has been the runner-up every year since they started this competition, and we can't let that happen anymore, Duck fans. Ducky is down right now to the Colorado State Ram. Cam the Ram. That's embarrassing. That can't happen. So go vote, fans. Vote often. We know the Duck is awesome. The Duck deserves your vote. As for FishDuck.com, football season brings a very cool announcement from us. We are now officially credentialed media. That's something that's really unprecedented for an independent, self-funded website that's barely a year old. Every football game will have a team covering the game. For Arkansas State, writers Chris Charbonnier and Joel Gunderson, as well as photographer Kevin Klein, were on hand, snapping photos, live tweeting from the game, providing game notes, and be sure to take a long look at our Sunday wrap-up of the game, complete with post-game video interviews, Kevin's fantastic photos, and a tremendous write-up by Chris. We'll have plenty more for you next week and all the games to come, so be sure to follow us on Twitter. That's at FishDuck.com, and check out our forum for a photo thread of images being posted during the game. If you want to see all of Kevin's photos, follow our FishDuck Flickr page among all of our social media sites and links. Of course, we did plenty on the site to prep you for the game on Saturday with articles and videos. Charles broke down on Tuesday Oregon's most important play for 2012, the sweep read. You can click here to check that out. Now, I had an interview with University of Oregon Senior Associate Athletic Director Craig Pinnins talking about game day policies, and you should absolutely check out that interview as well. You can click right here to watch that. Josh Schlichter also provided the first of his opponent analysis videos. Those of you who have been with us from the beginning, you may remember Josh did these last year as well. In-depth analysis of the opponent that will be facing Oregon. This is something he'll be doing all year again, the day before the game, showcasing things to watch from the opponent. So his Fresno State video breakdown will be up on the site this Friday. Be sure to check that out. For now, though, if you want to recap what he did for Arkansas State, you can watch that right here. We had some great article breakdowns this week, but the one that I really want people to check out is the Monday article from Jim Maloney. It was an in-depth recap of the 1962 Oregon Ducks track and field team, the first national championship for Tracktown USA, and the first time that the NCAA championships were held in Eugene. The article features interviews with Jerry Tarr and Oregon Ducks and Dallas Cowboys legend NFL Hall of Famer Mel Renfro, arguably the greatest athlete in University of Oregon history. There was plenty more too, and of course, especially now since we're doing so much for football season, you can keep up to speed on everything that we're putting up on the site each day by subscribing to our newsletter. And now, my random tweet of the week.
Hey, will you shut up?
Thank you.
Music recommendation time. Well, all football season long, I'm going to be veering away a little bit from normally just doing new artists that I recommend each week, instead focusing on artists both past and present that you should have in your rotation for your next tailgate party. Certainly Oregon Duck songs, there's plenty out there. You can go to FishDuck.com. In our video section, we have a tab just for all of the Oregon Duck songs that goes well beyond Sup With Your Girl in Exile. There's over 100 Oregon Duck songs actually. But, you know, mix that in with some great music from artists in general too. And this week, say hello to a Midwest ska band that has been partying non-stop since 1996, Ruskabank. Ruskabank is an exuberant, lively, energetic 8-piece ska band that tours constantly throughout the Midwest. One word sums this band up: fun. They've released 2 full-length albums and have appeared on many compilations. Their music is out there for everyone to skank the night away to, so do not miss it. Here's one of many classics from Ruskabank that's deserving to be blasted during your next tailgate party in the Autzen lot. This song is called My Friends.
Sounds so sweet. Yeah, I'm the scene and now we rock it all the time. Everybody knows that we root every rock, cause if I know I check ya, I don't know why. Put you in the gym and then they put me in the eye. I don't know why they do that stuff. They have to be rough, they have to be rough. I got my friend all around, you know you make me feel good. Never got to worry if they up to no good. They all go there to help me out. If you ever need me, just give me a shot. But if I know I check it, I step up to the front. They got to get to me if a body's what they want. I didn't mean not to but with my friends I am enough. Yeah, me and my friends don't be aware that stuff on the radio or on the phone. You hear more about it when you are alone. No more about it at the end of the day. I look at what I got and I just have to say, my friends, really all I want anyway. All I need to get me through the day.
So that's it for me this week. Great start for the UO program. All the teams are doing great. Across the board, only 1 loss. Are you kidding me? 12-1 in all sports. That is fantastic. Unbelievable. Could Oregon actually do better this year than they did in 2011, arguably the greatest year in Oregon sports? Time will tell. Until next week, this is Kurt saying go fish, get hooked, go Ducks.